Like I said, welcome, and thank you for being here with us tonight. It's really exciting to be able to do a in-person event, it's really wonderful to see all of you. My name is Jennifer Stevens, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Community Engagement Manager for the Whatcom Dispute Resolution Center. And tonight we welcome peace builders, youth poets, peace bench artists, and you can see the benches lining the room. They're guests here at the hotel, Leo, and all of you at home watching it live stream virtually. And we're just really honored to have you all here to help us celebrate peace building in Whatcom County. Wherever you may be participating from, and in the spirit of peace building, please join me in recognizing that here in Whatcom County, we reside on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Lummi, Nooksack, Samish, Semiahmoo, and Skagit peoples who have been protecting and celebrating life on their lands, waters, and air since time immemorial. We extend our respect and gratitude to our Indigenous neighbors and recognize that much of the work we do here at the Dispute Resolution Center and in service to our community has Indigenous roots, and that we share values of harmony and good relations with one another and the land upon which we reside. As we reflect upon how to build peace in Whatcom County, let us remember the power of acknowledgement and that together we can continue to lift up our history and work together on a peaceful path for the future. And as I mentioned, we have our wonderful peace benches here as a part of our 30th anniversary What Does Peace Mean to You celebration and campaign. We had 10 local artists paint these benches in their own reflection of what peace means to them. And so I would just like to say a big thank you to Kevin Coleman, who really helped to bring all of the artists together. And thank you. And I would also just like to acknowledge and thank the rest of the artists who did these wonderful, beautiful benches. And again, I'm very excited to have you all here. And we have our silent auction that's happening. And so you can go onto our website to be able to view the silent auction and also bid on the benches if you so choose. So I would like to now say that we have a very lovely evening ahead of us, and I would like to introduce our board president, Matt Paxton. Matt?
Thank you, Jennifer, and good evening. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I would like to take an opportunity to thank our presenting sponsors first tonight, PSC and People's Bank, for their tremendous support. Without them, this event would not have been possible. We also, yes, give them a hand. We also appreciate the other businesses and nonprofits that have supported us throughout the many years, whether that's on the board members, supporting us with event sponsorships, or other creative endeavors like you see around the room tonight. Their support of our mission is a testament to what strong partnerships in our community can accomplish. So I'd like to thank certain key sponsors who have made this evening possible: Savvy Bank, Brett McCandless, Brown and Connor, Julian and Company, Highline Construction, Saratoga Real Estate, Schmelik, Sitkin and Davis, Ethos West Construction, GLP Personal Injury Attorneys, Village Books for their sponsorship of our poetry contest, BTV in the city of Bellingham for filming the award recipients. And finally, we received so many generous donations from individual contributors. It truly warms my heart. So thank you to the sponsors and the donors of our organization. So on behalf of the board of the directors, I'd like to extend my special welcome to the County Executive Sidhu, Bellingham Mayor Fleetwood, Bellingham City Council Member Michelle Martins, and to each of you for joining us this evening. I joined the board in 2020 because, as an attorney, I recognized that there was a growing need in our community for resolving disputes outside of the courthouse. And as a father, I recognize the importance of teaching others, especially my children, to approach disputes in creative and healthy ways. I also joined the board because I wanted to help support our fabulous executive director, Moonwater. We are so lucky to have her as our leader of our organization. And finally, I joined the board because I believe that dispute resolution, it's not an innate human quality. It's a skill that we learn and that we practice. And in practicing the skill of dispute resolution, we bring about peace. And this year's theme was, what does peace mean to you? Well, to me, peace means respect and integrity, compassion. And I think that the WDRC really embodies those qualities. They bring out the best in all of us, and they bring peace to our community. So tonight, we are here to raise awareness about peace-building work that amazing people and programs in our community are accomplishing every day. We hope to raise awareness and critical resources in support of the peace-building mission. As we celebrate our 30th anniversary, 30 years, we remain committed to our vision for Whatcom County to be a community in which people approach conflict in creative and healthy ways. In reflecting on our history, celebrating our anniversary, and looking ahead to the future, we collaborated with Veritas Media to capture our story in a short video. After the video, we will be joined by Moonwater, who will be emceeing the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Conflict is a normal and natural experience of the human condition. How we're able to approach it can transform it from something destructive into something more positive, into an opportunity for change and growth and new learning and understanding.
In the 70s and 80s, divorce rates were very high and families were being torn apart. So Martha Day and Joe Pemberton, who are also co-founders, we worked together to create the Whatcom Dispute Resolution Center, feeling like if we could help parents through this difficult time and learn how to co-parent children, we could help create a more peaceful world.
The center provides a wide range of services to the community. On a prevention level, we offer a wide range of classes. We take workshops into elementary, middle, and high schools. We work with local colleges. We offer classes through the Dispute Resolution Center that are open to the entire community. In addition to skill-building workshops, when people find themselves in conflict and they're not sure where to turn, they can come to the center and receive assistance through our mediation services, our facilitation services, where we're working with individuals and small groups to help them navigate the conflict that they're facing. We provide facilitation services for large groups when our community needs to come together in dialogue. Our facilitation services bring people together in order to address contentious issues or co-create outcomes that will work for them. One of our newer program areas is supervised visitation. This particular program creates a safe, neutral environment for parents and kids to stay connected. For the families that we're serving through this program, these precious visits are often the only time that a parent is able to see their child.
When I first started in the community organizing that I've been doing for the last 30 years, WDRC was the only organization that focused on mediation and conflict resolution. A lot of things that they've done have really been the backbone of why this community has become much more skilled at civil discourse.
Late last spring, I found myself in a situation where I lost both of my parents within 10 weeks of each other. We were grieving, we all had different needs, we were scared, and so there was a lot of fear going into this situation. Our goal was that we would be the three musketeers, that the three sisters, the sisterhood was the most valuable thing. I immediately called up the Whatcom Dispute Resolution Center and asked for guidance on how to set up a safe platform for discussion moving forward. And we came through it in flying colors, and we're still sisters, and it's just great.
I was a high school student when I had a mediator come into our classroom and discuss conflict resolution and mediation skills. My own personal story is that I know that these types of trainings benefited me and my family and my life, and so I wanted to be able to offer that to other young people as well. I offer trainings in peacemaking circles, and so that has intersections in terms of what we call restorative justice, and I think that's been part of the community conversation with the Dispute Resolution Center is what is restorative justice and what does that mean to people. And it could be mediation, it could be circles, it could be a lot of different processes that are used.
The WDRC's services work for our community. More than 85% of folks who come to us through mediation are able to reach agreements that work for them. And even when someone hasn't reached agreement, as they move through our process, they find that they have a clearer understanding of what the issues are, their communication has been improved, and they have a plan for how they're going to move forward. Since our founding, the Dispute Resolution Center has served over 50,000 individuals. Every single person who's walked through our doors and utilized our services has strengthened their skills in conflict resolution, has deepened their sense of empathy and curiosity about themselves and the person with whom they were experiencing conflict, and has, in their own way, in their individual circumstances, contributed to peace building. And together, their story with the story of every other person has woven a tapestry of creative conflict resolution here in Whatcom County. As we reflect on the history of the center and look forward to the future, I take great comfort in knowing that the Dispute Resolution Center will continue to be a viable, accessible, supportive service available to our entire community. We will continue to hold space with empathy, compassion, and humility. We will work to inspire creativity and curiosity in one another as we assist each other in community to resolve conflict in creative and healthy ways. Good evening. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and sharing in that moment of reflection and celebration with us. I love birthdays, so 30th anniversary is a pretty good one to celebrate. It's especially lovely this evening to have Barbara Rothkar here with us tonight, who, along with such a visionary group of people, helped to found the DRC 30 years ago. Thank you, Barbara. I'd also like to extend my gratitude to our board president, Matt Paxton, all of our board members, advisory board, staff, and volunteers, and thank you everyone for joining us this evening. I am grateful that each of you is here with us tonight, either here at the Hotel Leo or watching online via our live stream. This year's event feels especially meaningful as we navigate this duality of hybrid events and feel the pull of human connection, paired with the safety and accessibility of our virtual spaces still. It's quite incredible to have the opportunity to reimagine the ways in which we can share space together. And I suspect that's going to continue for a while, but it feels good for now. Connection has most certainly been a theme this past year, I'd say. I think the pandemic has shown us how easy it is to become isolated, and concurrently how very important it is that we continue to find ways to stay connected. So as we lift our masks and step back into places and spaces together, I'm observing us readjusting as a community. There's an eagerness to reconvene, and for others, though, some lingering hesitation. And while there's joy in togetherness, each of us is now carrying the weight of these past few years, forever changed by the experience. And I'm recognizing, as I'm doing some deep reflection these days on what it means to be connected, that conflict and connection are intertwined. And oftentimes we experience conflict because of an absence of connection or because of friction within it. The events and experiences of these past few years have created many moments of conflict. Families have felt the strain of losing loved ones. Children have had to rebuild relationships as they've returned to school. Workplaces have had to navigate the experience of bringing teams back together after years apart. Landlords and tenants alike have felt the residual pain and stressors of housing instability, and our community has continued to grapple with violence and inequity. But through it all, we're finding ways to connect with one another. And in doing so, we're creating pathways for healing, repair, resolution, holding space for families, coworkers in our community to build their skills in communication, collaboration, and creative problem solving is, as you've heard tonight, and you know full well, at the heart of our work. Each conversation, each moment of reflection, and each acknowledgement that each of us can make about our own needs and the needs of others can serve as a tiny building block of peace. That's my invitation to you this evening, to think about those building blocks of peace, eventually leading us towards a stronger, healthier connection and a stronger, healthier community. And every single one of us has the ability to help build a community which approaches conflict in creative and healthy ways, by offering curiosity and compassion to one another, by sharing resources, by collaborating, by creating space for all voices to be heard and valued. We can strengthen our sense of connection and our sense of belonging. And that foundation, built on human connection, is a powerful foundation for peace building. So this evening, as we look forward to celebrating our fellow community members who are building peace in creative ways, and in ways that are congruent with our mission, we also bring to you the voices of young people and the visions of local artists. But first, though, we'd like to take you inside the doors of the DRC. It's been a while since you all have visited, to shed light on the day-to-day impact of our programs. And I also wanted to share with you that behind every phone call, every case, and every service that we're providing at the DRC is one of your neighbors, a friend, a family member, or a colleague who's trying to build their skills, navigate a difficult situation, repair a relationship, or recover from harm. So please join me in hearing from my staff, my dear, dear staff, as they share with you a bit more about the power of our work and the stories of the people that we serve. And thank you again for being here this evening.
Hi, I'm Jan, and I'm representing the Supervised Visitation Program. We support families when the court has determined that a parent can't see their child unless additional structure and safety measures are in place. We began offering this service in 2016 and are the only nonprofit provider in Whatcom County. We serve all families free of charge. Oftentimes, the families we serve are experiencing domestic violence, addiction, housing instability, or a combination of hardships. Relationships and communication is severely strained or stopped entirely. Our role is to ensure everyone's safety and hold a precious, welcoming space for parents and kids to connect. We have 2 staff members and a crew of 9 volunteer supervisors. These volunteers have their own jobs, families, and challenges, yet dedicate time to our program, allowing us to consistently serve families week in and week out. Together, we maintain a visit space, a warm and friendly setting near a community garden. Our rooms have large windows and a variety of toys, books, and games. We update our materials as often as we can, and we always seek to represent all the people who may make their way into our space. Our supervisors walk side by side with children who are witness to their wisdom and hope that blossoms in tough circumstances. Our team gets to witness the many forms that success can take. And today I'll share with you just a few of those moments. When parents come to us saying they need supervised visitation to see their children, they often express anger, frustration, confusion, and powerlessness. They're afraid their children don't understand why they are no longer in their lives. Frustrated, they can't explain the reasons that this happened, and sorrowful when they talk about how long it's been since they've seen their kids. Understand that these parents may not be at their best. Then they have to go into a room to parent their children in front of strangers. They're not even sure what it means to parent in these circumstances. Human resilience, creativity, and a desire to be better can bring out the best in these uncomfortable and uncertain times. All of our program policies center on the safety of the children, the parents, and our supervisors. When we explained to one visiting parent, program rules don't allow games with Wi-Fi or internet access during visits, he became upset, convinced his children would be unwilling to visit. He wasn't sure how to connect with them and was scared they would reject him. We offered him a chance to look at our books and games, and he chose card games, Uno, Old Maid, Crazy Eights, and he thought the kids might enjoy them. I will say that the children were reticent about spending time with this parent, concerned about rapid mood changes they had experienced in the past. The card games, though, allowed the family to sit at a table and chat without pressure. At the end, the children said they felt better and more at ease about returning the next week. Sometimes sitting quietly and playing is a bit harder. Often visiting parents are challenged by the exuberant behaviors of multiple children. Children's anticipation and nerves can hinder their ability to manage high emotions. One parent, finding herself overwhelmed by the behaviors of the children during visits, came up with the idea to bring blind bags, special surprise pouches filled with toys and games that would be given to the children for good behavior during visits. It worked well. The mom felt pride and satisfaction in figuring out a strategy to use, and the kids' good behavior was positively rewarded. Other times, other circumstances are at play, compounding the intensity of these visits even more. We have children in visits who have never known the visiting parent, and a visit through us might be the first time they meet. One visiting parent who was building or looking to find common interests with their child found a Lego set to bring each visit. They work on it weekly, building something more each time. Every visit allows them to build their relationship just a little bit more. As children get older, it's even more difficult to keep them engaged. One parent has brought art projects each visit that they work on with the children. Another parent started a recipe exchange with the child, and they spend time talking about what each has brought, its origins, and what they like about it. Family roots and stories run deep in recipes, and this gives the parent and child an opportunity to create their own history. When we share our space with our families, we open the door to a rekindling of old relationships with the structure to build new ones. I continue to feel inspired by the work we do every day. Thank you so much for giving me a moment to share a bit about my program area. And now I'd like to introduce my colleague Mia to share with you the power of mediation. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. As you all well know, the pandemic created countless challenges for our community, with housing security threatening to become a national crisis. To address the potential deluge of evictions, the state legislature created the Eviction Resolution Pilot Program in an effort to stabilize housing, connect landlords and tenants to resources, and ensure a space for resolution before proceeding to court. After months of preparation, our program began accepting clients on October 1st, 2021. Since then, in just over 1 year, we have served nearly 4,000 Whatcom County landlords and tenants through this program alone. We've spoken with clients who experienced losses of income and unprecedented uncertainty, some of them for the first time in their lives. In fact, back in 2020, I too was one of those tenants who lost employment and housing due to COVID. Knowing firsthand what the prospect of eviction feels like, it has been powerful for me to serve as our lead eviction resolution specialist. Tonight, I'm proud to share with you a story about one of the landlord-tenant relationships that we helped to repair. I've changed identifying details to protect their confidentiality, but the story is theirs. When we heard from the landlord, Jessica, she was anxious, exhausted, and ready for help from a neutral third party. We got to work right away. When we connected with the tenants, Dan and Francine, they had almost reached the end of their rope. Their relationship with Jessica had gone swimmingly until COVID-19 turned their family upside down. Dan had lost his job as a result of COVID, and Francine's pregnancy had changed from a bundle of joy to worry. During intake, their baby babbled as they shared their situation. They needed to go back to work, but COVID restrictions and high expenses put childcare out of reach. Scraping by each month, they paid whatever they could for rent. When Jessica called, they were embarrassed to admit that they couldn't pay rent again and felt intimidated to speak up about needed property repairs. It was important to Dan and Francine to take responsibility, make things right with Jessica, and raise their son in a safe and stable home. By accepting our services, they gained access to more time, resources, and negotiation support. We then connected Dan and Francine to the rental assistance program at our excellent partner agency, Opportunity Council. When we followed up with Jessica, her compassion was running thin. She knew the challenges Dan and Francine were facing, and she had offered flexible payment options in the past. Now, with the end of their lease fast approaching, she feared they might stop paying after moving out. "I can handle a lot," she said, "but it's difficult if we don't have communication." Upon arriving at mediation, Jessica's arms were tightly crossed and her eyebrows knitted together. Dan and Francine took turns holding the baby, both nervously avoiding eye contact. Jessica was eager to speak first. Unpaid rent aside, she had heard complaints from neighbors over the years and didn't know how to rebuild trust if these problems continued. Dan and Francine were hesitant to admit to the mediator what Jessica already knew. Times were tough, emotions were high, and they struggled to keep their family afloat. Initially, their conversation seemed to be stuck, but through the process, our mediator helped them voice their concerns, name their needs, and brainstorm options. They discovered that they actually agreed on several key points. The tenants needed to move out, and to make that happen, they needed support, including rental assistance, income, and stability. Dan and Francine described possibilities for new jobs and a new home, and Jessica got excited to take part in their plans. The pending rental assistance would cover the back rent in full, plus 3 future months by request. Jessica agreed to extend their tenancy with assurance that they would stay in touch about their progress. They each left the mediation feeling confident about their finances and clear on the next steps in their relationship. But the story doesn't stop there. 2 months later, Jessica shared that Dan and Francine had applied to rent a home in another county, and she was helping them get approved. She even asked us to send them information about rental assistance in their new city. It was gratifying to hear that they had ended their relationship on such good terms. Their experience is just one of the many creative and transformative outcomes that can happen in mediation each and every day. Thank you for making it possible to serve community members like Jessica and families like Dan and Francine's. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mia and Jan, for sharing these stories with us and providing just a glimpse into the DRC. It's my honor now to introduce one of our wonderful board members, Amy Rydell. Amy?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Amy Rydell, and I have had the tremendous pleasure of being on the board of directors for the past 6 years. And before I get going, I just want you to take a moment to look around the room at one another. Everyone is in this room because you are doing good work in the community, you are building peace, you've written poetry, you've done all of this wonderful things to be here, and I just, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being here with us and for all of the good things that you are doing for the community that I get to live in. So the stories that you've just heard are so moving. They underscore why I'm on the board of the DRC and why we are here together today. And they are a glimpse of what we see every day. We help keep parents and kids connected. We bring people together in conflict and watch them transform their relationships and their lives. In just the past year alone, the WDRC held nearly 400 supervised visits between parents and children, assisted over 800 people in mediation, provided training for nearly 1,500 youth and adults, and opened over 2,000 eviction cases, and over 90% of those cases were resolved without eviction. It's a remarkable impact. And tonight, we invite you to join with us to meet our goal of raising $80,000 to keep these critical services available in our community. Now, I attended my first Peace Builders in 2016 after watching what I can only describe as a very tough campaign season where differences in opinions and beliefs were met with hostility rather than civility and curiosity, and it felt like a breakdown in, frankly, our humanity. It was at this event that I fell in love with the WDRC. It was such an example of how we show up, highlighting those who have come together, sometimes in the midst of tremendous conflict, to work together and carve out a better path forward. That's what we do. Day in and day out, we help those around us carve out a better path forward. So in my professional role, I'm a health planning specialist for the Whatcom County Health Department. That means I get to spend countless hours working alongside community members and partners to understand what is helping and hurting our community, and how to build the community that we want to live in and that our children deserve. And most importantly, how to intervene early in a person's life or in a situation to prevent crisis, reduce trauma, and repair relationships, of which the WDRC is a critical partner. As supporters who understand the value of the WDRC and what they bring to the fabric of our community, I invite you to think for a minute about what that value looks like. Imagine that in Whatcom County, every school-age child could get training on how to manage conflict and how to repair relationships when conflict occurs. People at risk of eviction get services and the support that they need to communicate and make plans with landlords instead of becoming houseless. Neighbors, friends, partners, or business contacts who have reached a point of disagreement where communication has completely broken down have low-cost access to mediation services, and they chart that path together forward, never needing to interact with the legal system. And where those of us in all types of situations are empowered to have hard and difficult conversations because we have learned the skills necessary or have enlisted the professionals at the WDRC to assist us in creative, healthy, and productive ways. That's the value that the work of the WDRC brings to our community, and it's what we will bring tomorrow. Where we as individuals choose to put our resources is a demonstration of our values. The WDRC embodies these values that we collectively share, and tonight is an opportunity for you to join us. Now, while I can't share everyone's names, I want to start with a special thank you to Stephen Gockley and Ellie Posel, David and Jamie Curley, Keith and Donna Loken, and Ann McCartney and Norm Lundquist for helping us get really close to achieving our goal this evening. I am pleased to announce that already we have raised over $35,000 towards our goal of $80,000. And tonight, we ask you to partner with us to fill that gap. You can help us meet our goal by visiting our silent auction and bidding on the wonderful experiences, packages, and items that have been generously donated by local businesses and individuals, including the beautiful benches that have been painted by our local artists. You get to visit our website at www.whatcomedrc.org to register for the silent auction and to make a contribution. So for folks who are here with us this evening, you can also make a donation using the envelope provided at your table. They're in the center of those little centerpieces. I want to thank you to each of you who are watching and listening at home for making your own donation tonight and investing in building a more peaceful community. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. And thank you to each of you for your generosity of resources and spirit tonight. And this is a special evening. On the heels of a pandemic, is that where we are? Maybe? Can we go with that for tonight? All right. On the heels of a pandemic, and after 30 years of providing and promoting constructive and collaborative approaches to conflict, never have we been more aware of our interdependence. Peace building is truly a community-wide endeavor. This year, as has been shared with you, 10 artists joined with us in our What Does Peace Mean to You campaign to create these beautiful benches inspired by their vision of peace. And so I'd like to just take a moment as a special acknowledgement to each of those artists. Kevin Coleman, Jason LeClaire, Jim Dixon, the Whatcom Council on Aging, Gabriel's Art Kids, David Syrie, Adrian Converse, Rachel Simpson, Taj Williams, Faith Ellsworth. Thank you all for bringing your artistry to this creative project. I also want to thank our youth poets, who we will hear from later this evening. Okay? Are you ready? I think I'm ready for our awards this evening. Yes, let's do this. The Peace Builder Awards is an intentional way to lift up and acknowledge the efforts of individuals, organizations, and businesses that are contributing to a more peaceful community. Each year, our selection committee receives incredible nominations of peace builders throughout our entire county. And it's an honor to receive these stories and also to be able to elevate a group who, through their unique contributions and spheres of influence, remind us of how creative, maybe that's another theme word for tonight, how far-reaching and how accessible the act of peace building really is and can be. And we are so pleased tonight to be able to recognize outstanding individuals and programs in 5 different categories. So we are going to get started on the awards component of the evening. And our first award recipients this evening are Ashley Buttonshone and Lacey DeLang with the Whatcom Long-Term Recovery Group. We are recognizing this amazing group of people with a Peace Builder Community Health and Recovery Award. After the devastating floods in November 2021 that came on the heels of the COVID-19 pandemic, although that's just said that, that's where we are now. This thing is just going on and on and on. And their work continues on, truly. This group came together at that time to provide resources and help Whatcom County communities, individuals, and families recover from that absolutely devastating event. Their recovery efforts continue today, so please join me for a moment as we watch a video about them and their work.
flood. The waters come and they rise, they take away everything, they leave mud and the dust and the rocks.
We came together, we did what needed to be done at the time, and we continued to be coming together for one another and helping each other's neighbors out.
People seem to think that there's all this help there immediately when you have a large natural disaster. And that really wasn't the case. And so we were able to do what the Red Cross was not able to do immediately, what FEMA was not able to do immediately. We as a community came together to do that. You saw neighbors, businesses, and churches and people from all over Whatcom County, and even some people coming from outside Whatcom County to just help those in need. And then we realized, well, we can do more. And how can we help recover? And what are we going to do in order to be better prepared in the future? So that became the Whatcom Long-Term Recovery Group.
When the long-term recovery group was formed in March is when we deployed disaster case managers, and we have around 600 clients that we work with. Recovery can mean just by getting rocks out of a field to completely rebuilding a house and everything in between. We're calling FEMA to do appeals, we're calling resources, but it's also requesting funds through Whatcom Community Foundation, UMCOR, World Renew, our local churches on items that the clients need in their recovery.
The need for resources, the need for funding, the need for volunteers is great, and it's not going to go away anytime soon, so our community needs to stay in touch. And so that's where we come in and bringing hope and help towards recovery.
Ashley and Lacey, will you join me?
Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to Moonwater and everyone at the DRC. It's an honor to receive this award. I don't think Lacey and I had any dream that we would be receiving an award with, we've just been under all of the recovery of, it's a heavy weight, and watching that video brings up upon so much emotion. I want to thank so many people. The list is so long, but Lacey, she is our lead case manager, and without Lacey and our case managers, none of the recovery would happen. We wouldn't even have a place to start. So Lacey's amazing. If you guys haven't met her, she is absolutely the rock of our recovery group. So, if you may not know what we do, we aren't just here for the flood, but for any future disaster coming. But really, we couldn't do this without the Whatcom Community Foundation, who has been there with us from day one. So they are just as much as deserving of this award as us. There are so many community partners. From the Whatcom Sheriff's Department to executives at Paul Sadhu, who's here in the room tonight, that have come together to make recovery possible. So in that, it's key, though, that I ask of you, the people here tonight, to help us in our future recovery, because it will not end here soon. It may not end in 5 years. So help us in spreading the word on what we're doing, and help us to recover from this event and possibly ones that could come this fall. So say prayers and send out your hope to everyone who's recovering, because it is a very hard recovery and a lot of stress with the fall coming and the flood season coming. So thank you so much for the award. I won't speak any longer, but thank you, Moonwater. Give her a round of applause for putting on such a beautiful event. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you both, and to everyone who's involved in the recovery efforts, and that is a community-wide endeavor, and the work continues. We have the opportunity now to hear from some of our youth poets. So it's my pleasure to invite our first poets up to the stage. We have Sana and Aaliyah. Would you like to join us, girls? Sisters? So folks can see you. Do you want to come right up here? There you go. I can hold this. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Alia Wilson, and this is my little sister, Sana.
Want to say hi? Okay. And you're going to read your poems.
Yeah. So this is my sister Senna's poem called Peace versus War. Peace or war, I choose peace. Help us fight. We will fight for peace and justice. We will fight to make it fair. We want peace. We want justice. We want happiness flowing through our bodies. Help us make it right.
Thank you, Sana. And Sana, you're 6 years old. Thank you for those words.
This is my poem called What is Peace? Peace is love, love is peace, peace is freedom, peace is fair, peace is truthful, peace is powerful, peace is a promise, peace is in all of us. Peace is a path to things words cannot explain. Peace helps the world turn around. Peace is for everyone. Everyone can make peace. Peace needs us. Together we will fight for peace.
Yes, we will. So we have a ribbon for each of you. Congratulations and thank you. Those are powerful words. Thank you for sharing them with us. One more round of applause. Good job. I love the poetry contest. Okay. Our second award recipient this evening is Daniel Anderson, principal of the Assumption Catholic School. We are recognizing him with a Peace Builder Education Award tonight for his dedication to addressing the needs of students, families, and the school community while navigating the impacts of COVID. Please join me as we learn more about him and his work.
As a staff, our goal was to create a space where kids could come and just be kids. The last 2 years, just with the pandemic, have been really hard for principals in general. There was just a lot of challenges that came with it. In my first year as a principal, my mentor said, if you do what's best for all children, you can't go wrong. And so that was what I tried to do. And so meeting with families, meeting with parents, every year there's always conflict. Conflict just exists, we can't avoid it. I just tried my best to make sure that they felt heard and listened to, and then whatever I was able to do with that information, and then to make the best decision for all kids. And really, it was a collaborative thing. It was the teachers, all of us together making these decisions, and the office staff too. The kids, they're just in a really different place right now, and there's just a lot of anxiety and fear. And so we just wanted the school to be a place where they could come and forget about that in a lot of ways. So it was balancing the fear, right, and understanding that COVID was real, and there was a lot of things that they needed to be prepared for and understand, but balancing that with taking precautions and being cautious about it, but then also creating as much normalcy as we can so that kids could be in this place, they could be in this school and be happy. We just wanted them to know that they were safe and that they felt cared for.
Congratulations, Daniel. Will you please join me?
I guess I'll talk this way. Can I poke? Oh, there we go. I do have my notes here. Well, thank you to the Whatcom Dispute Resolution Center for this award and for this honor. I just want to thank my wife, Hannah, my daughter, Evelyn, who's here with me tonight, and my son, Aiden, who hopefully is watching from LA. Hi, Aiden. Just for the support that my family has given me in this role. Being a principal is hard. It's just a lot of hard work, and a lot of late nights and a lot of time that I couldn't spend with my family during this time. I want to thank Father Jeff Moore, the pastor at Assumption, for nominating me for this award. Just really grateful and unexpected. But really, I think this award is just a testament to all administrators and teachers during this time, specifically the work of the teachers and staff at Assumption. it was a hard couple years for teachers in general and for staff too. I want to especially thank Dana Dennis, who's one of our staff members. She was our COVID supervisor and just helped me a lot with these conversations with families that were just really difficult as we were trying to maintain these protocols and keep kids healthy and keep them safe, but also have a fun place to learn and a place where they felt that they could come and feel safe too. In education, I think sometimes there's some disagreement on what's best for all students, and that's where leadership is really hard. And we can't make everyone happy, right? And so we just have to do what we think is best. I said a lot, we just make the right decision. We just make the right decision with the information that we have. So we're just making the best decision for right now. And I value the work around mediation, conflict resolution, the work that's done by the DRC, and I'm just so grateful for all that they've done here for our community too. Just honored to receive this on behalf of all educators and administrators. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel. Congratulations. You ready to hear another poem? All right. So I'd like to invite Adelaide up to the stage now as she shares her poem, Dandelion, with us.
Friendship is like a dandelion, never perfect but beautiful. Then something blows it all apart. Sometimes little pieces reconnect to form all over again. Friendship is like a dandelion.
Beautiful. Congratulations. Thank you, Adelaide. Okay. Our third award recipient this evening is Mary Locum with the York Community Farm. We are honoring Mary with the Peace Builder Collaboration Award, as Mary has worked tirelessly to unite organizations, businesses, and individuals to create an urban farm that provides jobs, healthy food, to address food insecurity, and educational opportunities in the neighborhood. Please join me as we celebrate Mary and learn more about the York Community Farm.
I think it's really critical that sustainable urban agriculture become woven into our community. I'm Mary Locum, and I'm the founder and director of York Community Farm. I started this farm about 11 years ago. Whatcom County imports close to 99% of our food in a place where we could be growing vegetables all year long because we have such a mild climate. We took this piece of land, this had been laying fallow ever since they put in the I-5 freeway, and we turned it into this community asset. We started it with the mission that we would provide living wage, resume building, meaningful work experience for underserved members of our community. And CityGate, which is a program for folks coming out of the criminal justice system, became our first partner.
I didn't think I'd ever have a job like this. It's quite a blessing to actually have it. Yeah, I've been here for 7 years, and it's like every day you wake up, there's something to do, something to look forward to, a sense of accomplishment. But yeah, I like it out here, and no better job in the world than to be right here.
And then another partnership we have is with Western. So we've been having students from Western coming down and helping at the farm in paid positions, and they're paid through financial aid. And we're really proud of that program. We just have a lot of other partners, Buff and WeCoo and the Co-op and River Styx and the Community Foundation. We've had a lot of support. But I think that maybe the best thing is helping people who've had experienced very little success in their lives to come here and experience success, because you fix a bed, you plant a bed, you watch the things grow, you harvest. There's success in all of that, and I think that's really important.
Congratulations, Mary.
Thank you. You're most welcome. Wow, first of all, I just want to say that was a beautiful film. I don't know if the filmmaker is here, but
farms never look so good. Thank you so much, first of all, to the center. This is really quite an honor after 10 years, and this is my swan song. I am retiring from the farm after this season, so this is quite a delight. Thank you. Don't worry, it will go on. I just wanted to give a special thanks to someone in the room here who has been with me before shovels even went into the ground. Just a champion, a supporter, a strategist, and that is our CFO, Kirsty Charlton. And also to my darling and wonderful husband, who's been very supportive the whole time, too. Thank you, Bob. So we've been awarded this award tonight because of collaboration. So I have about 1 million people to thank. So sit back, take a sip of wine, and I'll be done in about a half an hour. No, truly, it goes on too long. All the people that I could thank for the support that we've gotten. I hope you all know who you are. Stephen Gockley and Ellie Pozell for nominating us for this. Travis Tennyson for all his wonderful collaboration out of WWU, the city of Bellingham, and all our neighbors who have supported our CSA program through the years, which provided funds for folks who are marginally employable, people coming out of the criminal justice system, people floating in and out of homelessness, and veterans, and sometimes one person can be all of those things. So thank you for this. I really appreciate it. Thank you for that beautiful film, and good night.
Congratulations again, Mary. So folks, we are going to take a brief intermission now, and we invite you at home to stretch, and for those of you here with us to enjoy hors d'oeuvres, beverages. You can view and bid on silent auction packages, experience and items, and check out the beautiful benches again for those of you here with us. We'll restart the program in about 15 minutes. Good evening, folks. Hello again. It's wonderful to hear connection and conversation. It really is quite awesome. So welcome back. And we are so pleased to get to continue with our award celebration. So our fourth award recipient this evening is the Chardy Kala Project, and we are recognizing them with a Peace Builder Reconciliation Award for their commitment to promote understanding and awareness about the Sikh culture, creating outreach and educational opportunities for Sikh children and families, and fostering peace, connection, and inclusion. Please join me in welcoming Kamala and TJ, and we'll learn a little bit more about their story in the video that you're about to watch.
Chardy Kala is a Sikh term from the Sikh religion that means to keep your spirits elevated, particularly in tough times. So the Chardy Kala Project started in 2018 to fight hate crimes because Washington State is the third most dangerous state to be a Sikh.
I started almost 4 years ago with Kamala, feeding the homeless. That was our first project. So now we're working with the Gurdwaras, the Sikh temples, taking the food from there and delivering to the tiny homes. And then when there was so much floods of hate, we fed almost 300 to 400 people on almost a daily basis.
Sikhs are feeding about 1 million people on earth every day out of their biggest community kitchens in the world. We basically feel that hate crimes can be cured in great deal by education.
We start working with the people getting bullied in the school, and then teaching other people about what Sikhs are, and also bringing other groups together too.
We do something called One Watcom. Chardi Kala Project collaborates with a group called Connect Ferndale and Better Together Linden to bring minority and immigrant people together to get to know each other better. Anytime I can set one Sikh up with one non-Sikh in a day, that's a good day for me, just so that we all meet each other and know that we're all the same.
Congratulations to Kamala Kaur and TJ Singh. Welcome.
Wow, this is a sniffle time. Thank you so much. This is such an unexpected thing for us and such a great honor. I first have to say thank you to Dr. Kirpal Singh, who lives in Florida, who was our initial backer challenged me to do this work. Then I'd like to thank the Chuckanet Health Foundation, who's our fiscal umbrella. And they do so many amazing things in this community. So I'd like to. Then I'd like to say thank you to all our Sikh volunteers who go into schools and give tours in the Gurdwaras and field trips and presentations, which leads me to one of our favorite volunteers, Satpal Sidhu. Who has this other job. And who I don't use in election year. That's next year. I'd like to thank the Guru Nanak Guru Sikh Gurdwara on Pole Road in Linden. I can't tell you how generous Sikhs are. I want to tell you actually, if you need a venue and a huge banquet of free vegetarian feast, speak to me. I'd like to also thank Gurdwara Guru Nanak Prakash. They're on Smith Road. And finally, the Singh Sabha Gurdwara, which is the new bright yellow one on Telegraph Avenue, sort of around Home Depot. And it's the most beautiful color. I'm so pleased they painted it that color. It's beautiful yellow. And finally, I need to thank my co-director, Taranjot Singh, here, who has so many talents he brings to this project. But the ones I really appreciate the most is that he's of Punjabi descent and can speak Punjabi. Without him, I couldn't communicate or do my job at all. So he's like more important. So thank you very much, and I let him take over.
I would like to thank WDRC for giving us this award tonight, and I would like to thank you, Kamala, for partnering with me, and we have been doing this for 4 years. We have been together. We do fight a little bit with each other, but we get along well. And I would like to thank my wife, Mindy Kubrar. Without her, I wouldn't be able to do anything. She has stepped up and taking care of her kids and doing all the other stuff around the house so that I can take the time away from the family and help do these things in the community. Thanks a lot, and thank you for this award. Thank you.
Congratulations again. And the Chardi Kala has a fabulous Facebook page if you're not already connected to them in social media, and I just encourage you to do so. There's lots of wonderful opportunities and learnings are shared in that forum as well. Okay, friends. So we have the opportunity now to hear one more poem. And our youth poet who wrote this next poem, Ace, they are at home tonight, unable to be here in person, but watching. Hi, Ace. We're about to hear your words. And so we have a wonderful community partner, Christy Gallegos, who is also a former staff member of the DRC and personally involved in launching this year's poetry contest. And they are a poet themselves, and they agreed to read Ace's poem. So welcome, Christy. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you. It says, Insecurities by Ace, 13, Colshan Middle School. I need to hide to be seen. I need to be me, to be free. But I am locked up in a little box that I've thrown away the key to. I am scared, but that's good. I'm sad, but that's fine. I'm worried every second of every day, but who isn't? I hide who I am, I hide who I'm with, I hide who I love. I lose trust easily. I lose friends because I am not me, but I also lose friends if I am. I am a girl who has no idea who she is, a girl who has personalities and no idea which one is hers. I write poems when I have too much pressure. I write songs to sing to my soul that has darkened, but that's who I am. I am a boy who hides his insecurities and hides his thoughts. But on the outside, I am a happy boy with a personality like any other, and that's what I want to be, because when I am that boy or I am that girl, my worries are no more. So I choose to hide, I choose to be afraid, I choose to be someone I'm not. But that won't stop me anymore. I will proudly announce who I am, and honestly, I don't give a damn what other people think, because at least I'm being me. And me is a gender fluid, pansexual, homosexual, and I will scream it from the rooftops like I've lost my goddamn mind, but I won't care. I let the cool breeze of freedom guide me through the air. I'll let it drift through my hair, because then, and only then, I will be free.
Ace, thank you so much for sharing your words with us tonight, and in doing so, sharing yourself and inspiring others to be who they are. That's what we need to do. More of that. All right, my friends, our final award recipients this evening, Remy Sturck and Connect Ferndale with Ferndale's Juneteenth video project. We are recognizing them with the Peace Builders Social Justice Award for producing a powerful and educational video for schools and the community at large to access as a community resource in deepening our understanding of the Juneteenth holiday and to elevate the voices of local Black students and Black community leaders. Please join me as we learn more about their project.
Especially in a small community, small county like Whatcom County, there is a real need for racial awareness and racial equality and equity, and really just something to start the conversation. I Am the Hope and the Dream is a short film raising awareness about the true injustice that enslaved people faced, being freed and not knowing that they're free for almost 2 years.
This video offers a platform to allow students, faculty, staff, community members to have conversations that are uncomfortable.
project was important to me because just getting into the field of social justice, the things that were happening in the 1800s in the institution of slavery, we're still feeling the systematic effects of that on an institutional level and systematically and on an interpersonal level with my white counterparts.
As I was interviewing Chief Tank and he was telling me about his time in Ferguson, I think the real weight of the project hit me. It's just like, this is real work that needs to be done, and it goes beyond a 7-minute video for sure.
The work of equity and making people feel like they belong is powerful work. It's holy work. And if we are true to who we are as a community and as a country, it's the work that we have to do. It's our work.
Welcome. Anya and Connect Ferndale, and Remy, you're making your way up, and so many different folks were involved in this project. Congratulations.
This is such an incredible honor. My name's Anya, and I'm the chair of the Education Committee for Connect Ferndale. And I am overcome with emotion from seeing that minute and 30-second clip. I want to tell you what our mission is. Our mission for Connect Ferndale is to cultivate community growth and connection through civic participation and community building, to advance inclusion, honor diversity, and encourage participation for everyone in our community. This opportunity came about in March from a teacher in Ferndale who wanted to seize the opportunity to educate our students on Juneteenth, because at the time with the floods and the schools shutting down for as long as they did, it looked like we were going to be in school till July. And we acted incredibly fast. In 6 weeks, we raised over $14,000 to be able to pull off a project like this. And I want to say thank you to our sponsors for believing in me when I carried this mission forward and saying, you need to trust me because this is something that is very important. So I want to say thank you to the Whatcom County Health Department, to the Executive Office. Thank you, Paul. Truly, thank you. To Superfeet, to Chuckanet Health Foundation, to the WEA Fourth Corner, to the Ferndale Educators Association, to Whatcom Care, the Coalition for Anti-Racist Education, to the City of Ferndale, to the Whatcom County Human Rights Task Force, and the Whatcom County Library System. Without their generous support, we would not have been able to pull this off. And it is a fantastic video. It is 10 minutes of your time that you will not regret watching a video. And if you haven't seen it yet, please go to connectferndale.org, look at our projects, and it'll take you right to our video, where you can learn more about each of these individuals up here tonight. So I'd like to pass it off to Remy Stirk, who happens to be my cousin. So there's a little nepotism here. So Remy, thank you.
First, I'd like to say thank you. I don't have anything planned, so bear with me here. I want to say that a large part of this video is about representation, and really the beginning of representation. And it takes seeing someone who looks like you, and either in that moment or what you want to become, doing what you want to do to even like imagine it possible. So I don't know, it's pretty incredible to be here and like be able to tell my story and tell other people's stories. So thank you.
There's a lot of people. Viola Davis said that we must tell the stories of those whose stories aren't told. And unfortunately, those stories are Black stories, LGBTQ+ stories, women's stories, and our Indigenous brothers and sisters stories, and so many more. That means that we must all try our best to tell those stories, be inclusive, include diversity, and make sure representation is. This is also off the dome. Make sure representation is across everywhere. But representation matters, but it's about what we do with that representation. And that's what we need to focus on. Thank you, Otto, our cinematographer, who also isn't here, but also Anya's brother, so there's the nepotism again. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. WDRC.
Yeah, people want to go home, so I'm going to be quick. We like to say like this is called the Juneteenth Project, but the project was called The Hope and the Dream of the Slave. And as you heard before, so a lot of sometimes our ancestry stories are not heard. And that title came from the late great said this: I am a black ocean leaping in the wild, willing and swelling, I bear in the tides. Bring me the gifts that my ancestry gave. I am the hope and dream of the slave. And so any person of color watching, anybody who's going through something, who's watching, just remember you are, whether you're white, black, or whatever, you're the hope and the dream of the slave. And this project was the hope and the dream of every slave. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Anya. Thank you, Christina, Tank, Cicilina, Isaac, Winter, Remy, and everybody who was a part of this project. As one of the black community leaders here, it was an honor and a privilege to work with young black creators and leaders. And we thank you for this award. Thank you.
Thank you all. Many congratulations again to all of our peace builders and poets tonight. And it's my pleasure now to invite Amy back up to update you on the DRC's goal and opportunities to support this evening. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Moonwater. Oh my goodness. I have chills, and it's not just because the room is a little bit chilly. It's because all of the good work you all are doing. That was amazing. This is honestly one of my favorite nights of the entire year. The Peace Builder Awards, I look forward to it every year. I lovingly refer to it as our love letter to the community. And I think as you all saw, it is a love letter to the community that we live in and to all of you who are doing such amazing work here. So thank you. So I am very pleased to share that since I was last up here not all that long ago, we are well on our way toward our goal of $80,000. In fact, we have now hit over $52,000. So thank you. And that money will ensure that we can serve over 5,000 individuals, families, and youth in the coming year to connect and communicate and to mend and move through conflict within our homes, schools, and community at large with more comfort, compassion, and creativity. So it's so wonderful to see those donations coming in. Thank you so much. Many thanks tonight to Dean and Carolyn Withrow, to Nancy and John Bloom, to Keith Cox and CJ and Margaret Nathan. Thank you so much. Thank you. And it's not over just yet. Did you all know that an investment of just $25 allows a parent to take a co-parenting conflict resolution workshop? $75 supports a child and parent to spend an hour together in supervised visitation. $100 ensures that low-income families and neighbors have access to community mediation. $250 assists a family in financial distress to avoid foreclosure. $500 provides a conflict resolution workshop in our schools. And $1,000 helps community groups access facilitation services for contentious issues. Any amount that you can give is so completely appreciated and will be well utilized. Oh, and I have an exciting opportunity to share. From our longtime supporters and friends of the WDRC, Phil Montgomery and Mary Segow have pledged to match the next $2,000 that come in. So help us take advantage of this generosity by going to our website at www.whatcomedrc.org to make a donation online, or for those of you who are joining us in person tonight, you can use the donation envelopes on your table. And I think that Phil and Mary are here. Can we just give a round of applause? Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you. So a few final details. Our silent auction will be open until Monday the 24th, so feel free to look online and keep those bids coming. Our Dine Out for Peace campaign runs through October 31st, so you can continue to help us meet our goal through the rest of this month. And you can always visit our website, www.whatcomedrc.org, in case you haven't heard yet, to register for the silent auction and see a list of all the participants in the Dine Out for Peace, or to make an online donation. I can't tell you how much the WDRC appreciates the businesses and friends in the community who graciously chose to serve as sponsors, the local artists who painted the beautiful peace benches that you've seen all around, and all of you who've donated items for our silent auction and are supporting us through our Dine Out for Peace campaign. Again, visit our website to learn more, and please thank people for supporting the work of the WDRC. And thank you all for contributing so powerfully to building peace in Whatcom County. And now I'll turn things back over to Moonwater to bring our evening to a close.
Thank you, Amy, and thank you, everyone, truly. What a beautiful evening. I'm going to admit, my first foray into a public space in this way, with this number of folks as our award winners and their guests, in a long time. This is really lovely. And for all of you watching at home and joining us in that way, it's pretty incredible to be able to have a live audience here, live participants, folks here with us sharing this space, and an audience at home sharing this space concurrently. It's just a beautiful way for the community to come together at the same time and share this time. People's Bank and PSE are presenting sponsors. Thank you so much. Savvy Bank as our silent auction sponsor, Julian and Company as our Dine Out for Peace presenting sponsor. We're grateful for your support. BTV and Veritas Media for their video production and technical support. All of our sponsors, underwriters, event supporters, the DRC board and staff, Jennifer, Jana, Tim especially, you're amazing. Thank you for all the details to make this happen. All of our community peace builders, our bench artists, our youth poets, and every single one of you for contributing to peace, for being here, joining with us this evening. As you've heard from the other incredible projects tonight, the work continues on, and together we're going to do it. Thank you. Good evening. And that's it, folks.